Spacey Sims, and we are back with more Cinderella phenomenon and Waltz's route. And if you were here for the last part, you know about our adventures with the spider. And I'm going to tell you something. I got up between recording that part and this part, and I got a cheese stick, and had a little bit of a drink, and then I was like, okay, and like replying to a text on my phone, and I just, before I recorded this, look up, and he's gone. I don't know where it went. But I'm like, see? And then I was like, like I'm afraid to put my feet on my floor now. It's probably on the floor. Like, I went in the kitchen and I looked and he was still in the same spot. And like, blah, blah, blah. But I took my eyes off that motherfucker for like 5 minutes. And who knows where he is. I got a big ass ceiling and he's nowhere. He like hauled his little fucking spider ass somewhere. I'm hoping he went into the vent. Because he was kind of close to my air conditioning. So I'm kind of hoping he's scurried in there because otherwise, like, he fell on my floor or he's probably like crawling in my hair right now, guys. That's the thing. Spiders are shady bastards. Like, hey, it's fine. Spider, go in the corner. I was like, go in the corner. Just stay away from me. Just don't hang above my head because that'll freak me out. Just stay away from, like, the living room area and or above my desk. Like, you can go live happy in the corner. Please be happy. Oh, my God. What is that outside? Is it another giant spider? I swear to God, I live in the fucking spider forest. And then I'm literally looking outside and we've got like these like fancy columns outside on the porch that hold up like the roof, decorative column things. And I just see this giant thing crawling around and it's probably a giant spider. I mean, I'm not even kidding. The spiders around here are like the size of your fucking face. Okay, they're not that bad. I don't live in Australia, but like it's like there's one outside. It's not really outside my door. Like if you go outside my door and then you walk a couple, like 2 feet, there's like the edge of the balcony thing so you can like look out into the forest, right? It kind of lines up with my patio. So, but like over by there, so like, cause that's where like it's open, it's a breezeway, right? It's not like it's a closed in building. And I walk on my door and I just look over and I'm like, oh God, nightmare fuel's back. And it's this spider, it's huge. And it's like, okay, like, how like daddy long legs are like fucking huge, but they're kind of cute because they're really just tiny little body and big ass long legs and they're not scary. This thing is like the complete opposite. It's got big ass legs, but it's not like daddy long legs. But it's like the body, it's one of those bulbousy kind that those little spiders have a bulbousy body that when you squish them, they make a popping noise and it's like, It's like that, but they're huge. It's like massive. Like I swear to God, this spider's body is like the size of a quarter. It's like fucking gross. It's huge. You can see it from a mile away, okay? You could just like, I'm not even out of my apartment and I'm like, oh, I can see it. I can see it through the wall. It's so big, okay? Okay, I mean, it's like legitimately not like, but like, I don't know where they came from because I've lived here for years and I have never seen these motherfuckers until like last year. And like, to the point where then you're like walking in the woods, like I'm going for a walk and I'm like, you glance over because like there's a part where by the greenway where I walk in the woods, it's not really a field. It's like, I don't know, 7-8 feet maybe. And there's a couple of trees, but it kind of like is almost open until it goes down into a tree line and then into the creek or whatever, the river, whatever it is. I don't know the difference between a creek and a river, like whatever. It opens to a lake, okay? That's all that matters. Anyway, the waterway, okay? So like this area and there's this tree and there's something just like dangling from the tree. And I swear to God, the tree is like 5 feet from the walkway, right? And you like look over and you're like, okay, like maybe 4 feet. I don't know. But it's far enough away that you're like, wait, that I can see one of those spiders just because the spider web is obviously like in the tree, but it's like the spider's just in the middle of it. And it just looks like this giant spider hanging them. You're like, I shouldn't be able to see the spider from this distance and be like, that's a big ass motherfucking spider. Like, that's a big ass fucking spider. Like, that's gross. Oh my God. And then they were just like all over. And they're not like wolf spiders. Like wolf spiders are scary. And so we're like wood spiders because, they're big. But these are just like, they have bulbousy bodies and they're like nightmare fuel. It's fucking scary as shit. And it's like, And like, no, those are scary spiders because those are fucking huge. Okay. Like wood spiders are traumatizing enough. Like you want to know trauma? I swear to fucking God, this happened. Nobody. When I was little one time, we lived in Florida. And like our house was wood, so of course we had wood spiders. But like I go into like, I'm gonna go sit in the den, which was the kids' room, the playroom, right, and go watch TV. And Saturday morning there was a cockroach on the ceiling, and I was like, I'm not going in here. I'm gonna go sit in the living room, which we weren't really. It was like one of those like that's our room, kids. Oh, like we weren't supposed to watch TV. We had a playroom for a reason, but I went in the living room. I'm like, I'll watch TV really quietly, there, even though it's like the TV, the wall that the TV was on was like backed up to my parents' bedroom. I'm like, I'll watch TV in there quietly. It'll be okay. And then if like my parents come out, they're like, why are you watching TV here? Because there's a cockroach in the other room and I'm scared of cockroach. Ah, you know what I mean? Like I'm a kid. I don't know how to kill a cockroach. And it was on a vaulted ceiling, right? Like, hi, I'm a little kid. I'm not going to grab a can of Raid. Like they'd be like, you spray yourself in the face. Anyway. So I go in there and I'm about to sit down on the couch and there's this spider the size of my fucking face on the wall. I'm not even kidding. This thing was I'm only slightly exaggerating. It was fucking huge. It was like literally like the size of your hand, okay? If you have tiny baby hands, I'm sorry, that's not, it was like a huge ass fucking like 7 inches across. I mean, this thing is fucking huge. Huge. Massive. Right? So like, I remember like freaking out because then like my mom got up and I told her like, oh my God, there was this cockroach in this room and there's a huge ass spider in there, blah, blah, blah. So we're looking for the spider and I think my mom was like, whatever. And then she found it. It was like behind the curtain, right? And she was like, oh my God, no. And she gets my dad. She's like, you have to kill this fucking spider. This thing is huge. And he's like, oh, whatever. Women are afraid of spiders. Like he's making fun of us. He looks behind the curtain. He's like, holy fucking shit. Because he's like, holy crap, that thing's fucking huge. Because he wasn't expecting it to be huge. Like he's thinking we're exaggerating. This thing was fucking massive. Because it was like a wood spider. So they get really fucking big and scary. It was like, I swear to God, it's like a fucking tarantula. It was probably someone's pet. I don't know. It was fucking huge. That's my story. Anyway, now that we spent 6 minutes talking about spiders, I hope you're sufficiently creeped out. Now you know how I feel. I live in Spidertopia. This is literally because I cleaned my spider porch. And I didn't even clean it. I really didn't. I literally just sweeped. Like, I had to sweep off some of my furniture. And I literally was like holding the broom as far away as I could, like barely touching my furniture so that I could put it away for the fucking hurricane that didn't really happen. And I mean, we got tropical storm like winds and rain and stuff, but I could have left my shit on my patio, okay? I didn't have to touch Spidertopia. I didn't have to go out there and risk my fucking life, okay? So I crammed all my shit and like last night it was like rainy and windy still, but I was like, fuck it, because my carpet was like, smelled like wet dirt because it's an outdoor rug and it's like old and it needs to get thrown away anyway because it's kind of like ripped up from being blown around in the wind. But it had rained. So of course it smells damp and like, but now I'm packing it in my storage unit with all like my shit that I'm storing. I was like, great, but I don't want, like the carpet is what was really going to get taken. It was like, it gets windy slightly out there. My carpet like blows around. So I'm like, tropical storm, that's going to like, that's what's going to go. You know, I'm going to have this fucking carpet, magic carpet flying through the fucking forest and I want to deal with that. So I took it out yesterday because I'm like, nah. And then today I was like, all right, I'm going to take my shit. I'm going to put it back where it belongs. So, of course, I'm sweeping leaves off my patio, which, by the way, have been there for like 4 fucking years. Not even kidding. I moved in. I put my shit out on my patio. A week later, it was covered in fucking spiders. And I was like, and I'm never going out there again. And I haven't. I have not. Literally, I have fucking not. Those spiders have been there. It literally, I'm decorated for Halloween, okay? There's so many fucking spiders, so many cobwebs. I mean, there was like a spider web that is now just like gotten all tangled up in itself and it's literally just hanging in a glob. So gross. It literally, like, if you think about a haunted house, like the haunted house has been abandoned for centuries and there's all these spider webs everywhere. That's what my patio looks like. And it looked like that a week after I moved in, okay? Because the spiders are fucking real. All right? Like, and I was like, nope, not going out there. And every year I'm like, well, someday when it's like winter and the spiders have maybe all gone hibernate, I'll like spray out there and clean it off. But I'm not going to try to like sweep up the spiders so they get in my broom. But, you know, tropical storm's coming. The apartment complex was, you absolutely can't have stuff on your patio. What are you going to do? You're going to go in the fucking woods and look because I'm in the woods. You can't see. And I guarantee nobody that literally had their fucking patios facing the fucking parking lot took their shit down. And I was like, your shit could come flying off your porch and land on a car. Mine's going to go where? In the fucking woods? Whatever. I was really more afraid if the winds picked up something, it would come smashing into my window. Like, and I don't want to be with like, well, that's your fault because you didn't move your patio chair. Like, fuck you. Like, you know. Also, I have a really nice wood carving of an owl that my parents bought me. Like, and the person carved it with a chainsaw. I'm like, I didn't want that to get damaged. So that, I was like, I'll put the owl in the storage unit, but the rest of the shit, I don't give a shit. Blow my furniture away. It saves me from having to, like, clean it, obviously. It still looks gross and dirty, but anyway, I put it all back. But of course I had to sweep up leaves that had been there for like 4 fucking years. So, I mean, I should feel good about that. Like, I cleaned my patio, but I'm like, really though, I've been saving those leaves. Like, Now my streak is gone. I can't like move out 5 years from now and be like, those leaves have been there for 100 fucking years. You know. Anyway, you came here for a game and we're talking about spiders in my spider porch, but I swear I did not drink crack before I started this. I'm just like really, really, really freaking out because God knows where that spider went. I don't like not, you know what? I like not knowing that there are spiders all around me. I prefer not to see them, but I already saw you, you little motherfucker. So I know you're here somewhere, and if you sneak up on me, so help me God, you better be hiding in the fucking, nah. Unless he did die, unless I did spray him and he's slowly suffocated and he's on the floor. Where is he? You find him. Bird, find the spider. You need to be a spider hunter. You're really bad at catching bugs. You see them, but you don't do anything about them. Anyway, I'm sorry that we just spent the first 11 minutes doing this, but this is what happens. You know me by now. This is not your first rodeo. You know this happens. Just sit back and enjoy it. Anyway. Hey guys, welcome to Cinderella Phenomenon. We're back and we'll just pretend that first 11 minutes never happened. Anyway, I sit on a wooden bench waiting for Waltz to return. Oh right, he was getting us a treat. Yeah, and my treat is a spider in my face. He said it would be easier for him to go alone because he wanted to surprise me. I didn't protest. I've been on my feet all day. I never thought I would be running around playing with children. I wonder what his treat is going to be. Every time we come to the plaza, it's always packed with people. Most of the popular shops are clustered in this area. I observe the town quietly before my eyes land on the statue of a king. Of the king. I was like, a king? The king. He looks noble, riding a rearing stallion. The sight makes my heart twist uncomfortably. I'm pulled out of my thoughts when a child trips and falls in front of me. He begins to cry. Should I do something? Before I can react, a man and a woman are there pulling the child up. The man takes the child in his arm as the woman rubs his back. There, my love. Mom and Papa are here now. I watch as they slowly walk away. The mother still crooning to her child. That makes more sense than crooning. I'm like, what? Crooning. Spacey can't read. Mother would always get angry at me if I was about to cry. I wonder what it's like to be comforted like that. Sorry to keep you waiting. Are you okay? I keep the family in sight for as long as I can before turning to Waltz. I'm fine. He's like, I don't believe you. Here. It's a candy apple? It's an apple on a stick, Waltz. I got stuck an apple in. I'm just kidding. What is this? A candied apple. A long time ago, I promised that I would bring you one, but I wasn't able to keep that promise. That's why I'm fulfilling it now. I do not recall such a promise. I twirl the candy, inspecting its glazed and shiny appearance. I didn't know you could make an apple look like this. Don't take it! Witches that give you apples, it's poison, Spacey. If I know anything about fairy tales, it's witches and apples don't mix. This is actually kind of funny if you think about it. Like, Waltz is a witch, and he's giving us an apple. You're like, is it a poisoned apple? Does anyone see the irony here? Is it just me, like, to see the funniness? Did they do this on purpose? They're like, ha ha ha, he's a witch, and he's giving her an apple. She's gonna eat it, and that's pretty funny. Anyway, I just wonder if they thought about that. Did it occur to them that you should never take an apple from a witch? Especially in a fairy tale. Hello! We're already cursed, it doesn't matter. I promise there are no poison apples here. These ones are just sweet. And you know what the funniest thing is that line was sitting on the screen the whole time and I didn't even look at it? That's fucking hilarious. Okay. Wow. I literally clicked and I was looking at the CG and then I was thinking about it and I didn't even read the line. At fucking all. That's funnier. That is... Okay. Wow. I sniff at the candy. Sweet. I take a small bite. Well, I become so immersed in my taste test that I don't even hear Waltz. The candied apple tastes like nothing I've ever tried before. This is good. I take another bigger bite. Is that a smile I see, Princess? What? I wasn't smiling at all. Was I? When I get some extra money from my shows, I'll make sure to treat you again. I have lots of favorites to show you. There are more desserts like this? Of course. I'll make sure you try all of them. Walt stands, then moves over to a trash bin so that he can dispose of his finished apple. It's getting late. Let's go back to the Marchen. That's so fucking cute. Ah, look at him. He's so fucking pretty. God damn it, Walt's you hot. I like all of our boys. I really do. I mean, I like the story between Fritz Varg. I really do. But I think, honestly, Karma and Waltz are probably going to be my favorites. Because, like, Waltz's is really fucking pretty. And, like, Rumple's up there. Like, I really do like Rumple. But I really do think, like, Karma and Rumple are very similar to me. Like, they seem like... So it's like you could just have one or the other, and it would be that same similar kind of character. Like, where they're a little flirty and, and flamboyant. And I love that. But I think Karma outweighs Rumple in this instance. But, yeah. And I feel bad, because, like, Rod's route was cute, but he just kind of falls to the wayside for me. And again, I feel bad. We just played Fritz, but I was like, nope, Karma and Waltz are going to be on the top, then Rumple, and then, like, Fritz, obviously. Fritz and Rumple would probably kind of... Nah, Rumple would come a little bit before Fritz, I think, sadly. And Rod would be at the end. Yeah. Because his route was good. It really was. But it's not as memorable to me like Karma. I fucking love Karma. Fucking love Karma. And I think I'm going to fucking love Waltz. I already love Waltz. And we just started on this route. But, like, I don't know. He's appealing to my eyeballs. Yeah. Karma and Waltz are my tops. My top twos. We'll have them in a nice little man sandwich. I'll be the Spacey and the second of those pieces of bread. The next few weeks become a blur. I continue to help out in the tavern, while sometimes accompanying Waltz for his shows. I need to get a life. Though Waltz continues his lessons on goodness, I've yet to gain a single good deed. Slowly starting to lose hope. It's been months since I was cursed, and I still have yet to complete a single good deed. Such is life, girl, and that's what happens in all the paths. It's okay. Today I've been assigned the task of serving Marchen customers. I honestly prefer my duties with Mr. Broom. At least I don't have to mingle with all these people. I've only just entered the tavern when I freeze at the sight of a familiar face. Fritz? His posture is stiff. His arms are crossed, and he's obviously uncomfortable. What is he doing here? How did he get in here? I walk toward him, but do not get far before he's in front of me, down on one knee with his head bowed. I finally found you, Your Highness. I kind of forget the voice we gave him again already. I think he was kind of sort of normal. How does he remember me? How did he find me? Fritz! Princess, I have no idea what's happening, but the whole kingdom... Everyone has completely forgotten you, and... Well, let's go somewhere else to talk. I interrupt Fritz when I notice all of the stairs around the room. Not so fast. Seemingly from nowhere, Jurian and Garland are in front of me, separating me from Fritz. That's true, though. Fritz, we do love you. You know, you're great and all. But you're also Varg, and that's kind of sad. And I really just hope that... I know in the other routes, like, obviously Fritz disappeared. I really hope we can fix that. I don't want him to stay Varg and just disappear. Like, that's sad. Whether we're in love with him or not, it's fucking sad. Fritz should get to be Fritz. He's a good knight. Haha, good night. Yeah. Lady Jurian, Sir Garland, I was told you left Angeal. What are you two doing here? I could ask you the same, Sir Fitzgerald. What are you doing here? Fritz is at a loss for words as he stares at Jurian, confused. Answer the question, Sir Fitzgerald. What are you doing here? I'm quickly reaching the end of my patience. Just let me talk to him. Neither Jurian nor Garland back down. If anything, they only look more ready to draw their swords. I don't trust him. As I look at the three of them, I remember the story of Jurian and Garland's dismissal from the Order of Caldera. Sir Alcester was the one that dismissed them, so perhaps they hold some type of grudge. Is it because Fritz is Sir Alcester's son? I don't know why you don't trust Sir Alcester, but Fritz is a completely different person. He's two different people. He's my knight. He would never harm me. Kind of, sort of, almost half true. 90% true. I mean, like 75. Because, like, 50% of Fritz is Fritz, and he would never hurt you. And the other 50% is Varg, and half of him wants to hurt you and the other half is in love with you. So like 25% he wants to hurt you. So we have our reasons for doing this, princess. I sigh, rubbing at my forehead with my hand to try and dispel an impending headache. I swear, you lot are like a bed of snakes. Stop hissing at each other. Delora walks in from behind me, swatting at Jurian and Garland to move them. She smiles at Fritz before turning to beam the same smile at Jurian and Garland. If you're so concerned, then feel free to chaperone the princess with her knight. I'm sure the two of you can handle it if he tries to do something funny. Fritz's voice is quiet when he speaks. You know I would never hurt her. Fine. I glare at Jurian and Garland when we're in the reception room. Thankfully, they take the hint and retreat to the opposite wall, far enough to give Fritz and I some privacy. Fritz speaks as soon as I sink into a chair. I haven't seen you in 4 months, princess. It's been that long already? Did you know how worried I was when I woke up one day and realized that Princess Emmeline was in your place? And to make things worse, no one remembered you. Not even the king. When I brought up Crown Princess Spacey, everyone thought I was delusional. Where do I even begin? I decided to start with the facts of my curse and how I'm meant to break it. So you have the Cinderella curse, and that's the reason you've remained in the Marchen? Yes. And you need to complete 3 good deeds to break it. That's right. And how many good deeds have you accomplished, if you don't mind me asking? I frown as I shake my head, probably negative. None. I don't think I'm capable of doing good. Of course you are. I look up in surprise at Fritz's impassioned declaration. Let me start with this. I knew even when we first met that I was not what you were expecting. I wouldn't be surprised to know that I even disappointed you. But you never said a word of complaint, even in the beginning when I made lots of mistakes. And we both know how clumsy I was in the beginning. Aw, Fritz, you're adorable. Why is he being so adorable and endearing? It's not your route. Shut up, Fritz. Go away. No, it's okay. You stay here. It's okay. We still love you. We still love you. You're not on the bottom. Unfortunately, Rod's at the bottom. You're just like a little bit below Rumple, but that's only because Rumple gets the karma points because he's very similar to Karma with his flamboyance and like his dramatics, and we kind of enjoy that. So I'm sorry. That's the other reason. Although you do have an evil half, and we kind of like that. So I mean, like if we could keep Fritz and Varg together, like the naughty and nice. Like I'm feeling nice today. Good, we have Fritz. I'm feeling a little naughty. There's my Varg. That's what we kind of need. That might have gotten you bonus points, but we still love you, Fritz. It's okay. You're not Karma or Waltz. We barely know Waltz, but we've been friends forever. We're childhood sweethearts. That's adorable. I love that. Anyway, there's a kindness in you, princess. I know this for a fact. Even when I look away, I can still feel Fritz's eyes and smile directed at me. Anyways, so if everyone has forgotten who you are, how is it that I can still remember you? There's only one reason that makes any sense, though it brings up more questions than answers. Those who have the fairy tale curse are not affected by the conditions of another person's curse. Wait, are you saying that I'm cursed? And see, here's the thing. I bet in this path, because the developers, this was the order they suggested, like to play it in. I'm really wondering if in this route, obviously we'll probably break everyone's curse. But like Rod's curse doesn't really matter because we're not down his path. So like, oh, okay, we didn't know. I don't think we find out he's cursed in some of the other. Oh, yes, we do. Yes, we do. We find out in the very beginning chapters. So okay, that's great and dandy. We at least kind of know he's cursed. We don't know the details, but it doesn't really make a difference to us, right? And like Karma and Rumple, kind of same deal. But like Fritz, he's coming in and we're finding out that he's cursed. Like we obviously, like as the player, we knew because we wouldn't be on his path otherwise. You know what I mean? And we kind of had some indication as we went through the games that he was cursed. And obviously when we went through his, we know what it is. But we've never really straight up confronted him or had this conversation with him before his path. So if you did this first and you find out his curse, it would kind of ruin his path. So I'm kind of wondering how they're going to play it. Like he's cursed and then, oh, he broke his curse and we never know what it is. Or we know what it is and then we end up breaking everybody's curse. And if we had played this one before Fritz's route, it would have ruined it. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. Because we never find out anybody else's curse. We know Rumpelstiltskin curse. We know the, Beauty and the Beast curse, but we don't know the extent of it. Well, we actually, do we know that Karma's is the Beauty and the Beast curse? I think we do, but you know what I mean? We don't know the logistics. We don't know that he becomes a beast when he falls in love type of a thing. So, anyway. Wait, are you saying that I'm cursed? Unless you're secretly a witch or a fairy. No, I'm definitely human. I can assure you of that. What about Lady Jurian and Sir Garland? Jurian speaks up from a corner of the room. Though the knights have been feigning disinterest, there's no doubt they're listening in on our conversation. We are cursed, so unfortunately we don't remember Princess Spacey being, well, Crown Princess. We only found out when she came here. I see. Fritz's distress is apparent as he looks grimly down at the floor. He hasn't admitted to having the curse, which means that he either doesn't know he has it or refuses to tell me. I can't believe this. How could I have the fairy tale curse and not know about it? Have there been no differences in your life lately? I suppose I've been more forgetful lately. Does that count? You've always been forgetful. I know. Fritz's posture stiffens as Jurian walks towards us from the other end of the room. Her arms are crossed and her gaze, directed at Fritz, is filled with suspicion. How are you able to find this place? Fritz looks back at me as if asking permission, and I nod. I've been dispatching scouts throughout Angeal to look for the princess ever since she disappeared. A girl matching her description was seen in this area entering this house. When my scouts entered this place, they found it empty and abandoned. I figured this was a good place as any to start looking for traces of her. Though I was expecting an empty house, not a tavern full of people. Only those with the curse or certain permitted people such as Jurian and myself can enter this place and see it for what it is. So I really am cursed, then. Fritz is silent for a few moments as he considers what was just said to him. That does explain things, though not as much as I'd like. Fritz stands. I still have many questions to ask, but I'm expected back at the palace. Fritz turns to look at Jurian and Garland. I don't know why the two of you are here, but I'm glad that you are. I know I can trust you to keep the princess safe. Please take care of her. You don't have to tell us twice. Fritz smiles in reply before turning once more to bow to me. Until we see each other again, princess. But it's sad because we know he's been in love with us forever and then we're going to, go off with somebody else. It's sad. We did that in all the other routes, but Fritz was just always MIA. Except for when we were in Rod's route, right? Fritz disappeared and we didn't have to worry about it. Now we feel bad, yo. A week goes by after Fritz leaves and the tavern of my luck doesn't change. I'm still unable to complete a single good deed. I want to ask Parfait if she knows anything about Fritz and his curse, but she's been absent from the tavern for more than a week. When I asked Delora why Parfait is missing, all the witch said was that Parfait was busy dealing with the rapid spread of the fairy tale curse. Today I'm accompanying Waltz to the toy shop to buy materials for his upcoming show. But now I can't find him. He was by these shelves earlier. Where has he gone? Can't imagine the shop's that big. Toy tree! It's cute. Look, there's a bird. I turn a corner and my gaze is caught once more by the dolls on display. One particular doll catches my eye and I can't help but marvel at its beauty. If only I had enough money to buy you. I notice a man standing just to the right in front of the teddy bear display shelf. Isn't that the father I saw with his daughter a few weeks ago? He's looking at the teddy bear that his daughter wanted, the one he didn't have enough money to buy. I watch as he opens one of his clenched hands. There's some gold coins on his palm. I glimpsed at the price tag of the teddy bears earlier, and I'm certain that the man doesn't have enough money to afford the one he's eyeing. I thought I'd have saved enough by now. Now what do I get her for her birthday? Oh my god, we're gonna do something nice and we're gonna buy the teddy bear and be just, you know what? You're a good dad and your daughter loves you. My dad never loved me. It's awful. The man heads for the next shelf over. He raises a hand to rub at the back of his neck. I walk over and pick up the bear the man was just looking at. It's very soft and somehow comforting to hold. I can see why the girl liked this one. I begin to move toward the counter without realizing. I hold the teddy bear to me with one hand and reach for the bag of coins with my other. The king gave me this money all those months ago, but I never used it. If I buy this bear, I'll be completely broke. Miss? Could you wrap this up for me? Of course. After she's finished wrapping the bear, I turn to search for the father. It seems he's no longer in the shop. Has he left? Wow, it's a big toy you got there. Waltz appears with a bright smile on his face. He leans forward to inspect the package I'm holding. I need to find him. Who? I'm sure he hasn't gone too far yet. Hey, wait! Where is he? Princess, where are you going? Explain. There's someone I need to find. Did you happen to see the man eyeing the large teddy bear earlier? I think I caught a glimpse of him. Why? We need to find that man. I must give this to him. I'm about to run off in the crowd when I feel Waltz's hand on my sleeve. I turned to snap impatiently at him, but I found my annoyance dying at the expression on his face. Look, I'm not entirely sure of what's happening, but I'll help you. But you have to stay with me. We shouldn't be separated in this crowd. Fine. Waltz keeps his pace with me as I almost break into a run. It'll be difficult to find that man with all these people around. But we should try at least. Waltz and I search for hours, but we never find him. I don't even know his name. We can try again tomorrow. It's going to be dark soon. But it's her birthday. Who? I ignore Waltz. In the brief second that I close my eyes, I can see the man's pained expression in my mind. I sit down on a bench and clutch the wrapped bear to my chest. He wanted to buy this bear for his daughter's birthday. Because he loves her. A familiar ache flares up in my chest. I spent my whole life wanting the king to treat me the same way that man treats his daughter. Spacey, I promise you we'll look again first thing in the morning. Walt and I head back to the Marchen, but the weight in my chest slows me down. It's not like you to be this sad for a stranger. You've changed. Have I? Welcome home, Papa! The girl's voice is familiar. I whirl on my heels and stare at the little girl in the doorway of one of the homes. I thought we were too late, but we found them! The little girl runs from her home to wrap her arms around her father, who picks her up and pulls her into a tight hug. I'm sorry I'm late, sweetheart. But you're here now! Mama, Papa's here! We can start my birthday party now! She's like the little girl we played with. The girl wiggles out of her father's embrace and runs back into the house excitedly. The man is carrying a small box in his hand wrapped neatly with a ribbon. He looks down at his gift and sighs. Before he can go inside the home, I walk toward him and tap him on the shoulder. This makes me feel so warm and fluffy. Excuse me. You were in the toy shop earlier. I was. We've been looking everywhere for you. For me? He looks first at me, then at the package I carry in my arms. Can I help you with something, miss? I heard that it was your daughter's birthday today. She's turning 7 today. But why? Here. It's so fucking cute. This is for your daughter. This is the toy you wanted to buy for her. Take it. No, I can't possibly. Just take it. The man seems to be in too much shock to reach out for the teddy bear. He shakes his head in wonder. You don't even know who we are. Why would you do something like this? I've been asking myself that all day. You love your daughter very much, don't you? She's my life. She and my wife. But I cannot pay you for this. Papa, why are you taking so long? The girl is suddenly at the door again, her eyes wide, staring right at me. Who are you? The little girl clings to her father's legs. She looks curious, but not afraid. I do not know what to say. This pretty lady here is your fairy godmother, little one. Waltz is fucking adorable. I love Waltz. I turn to glare at Waltz. What is he playing at? Fairy godmother? Like the one in Cinderella? Yes. I shoot Waltz another warning look, but he only grins at me. She's come to fulfill your birthday wish. Isn't that right, my lady? Play along. It's her birthday. I might as well play along. Yes, I am. Really? Waltz nudges me toward the little girl. I glare at him before I kneel down and hold the wrapped teddy bear out to her. What does Waltz usually say to children when he gives them gifts? Oh, you have been a very good girl. This is for you. The girl reaches out and takes the bear. Her eyes light up as she stares at it. Is this the teddy bear? I nod and the little girl squeals, twirling around with the wrapped teddy bear tight in her arms. Then suddenly she puts the bear down and throws her arms around my neck. Thank you! Thank you for granting my wish, Miss Fairy Godmother! I'm too shocked to react. Mama! Look what my fairy godmother brought me! I can only stare as the little girl runs back into her house with the gift. Thank you. I glance at the man, who, much to my surprise, has tears running down his cheeks. He's still somehow smiling through them. I'll never forget your kindness. He dips into a short bow, then disappears into his home. I knew that was going to get us a good deed, but still, doesn't it warm the cockles of a cold dead heart? This is a piece of the glass slipper. Your first good deed. I stare in disbelief at the hovering piece in my hand. One moment it's there, the next has been swallowed by a bright light and is joined with my pendant. I can't believe it. Waltz, look! But Waltz is not looking at my new pendant. He's looking at my face, his gaze enraptured. What are you looking at? You just smiled. I did? It's as beautiful as I remember. Oh my god, I'm gonna faint. Like you were like, oh, I feel so warm and fuzzy. Oh my god, now I'm gonna faint. Oh, no spider still. He's hiding. I don't know where he went. I feel slightly embarrassed and have no words as I quickly turn my head away. I'm glad that you decided to play along with my story. You made her birthday extra special by making her believe that you were her own fairy godmother. That, no matter how tough things are, every child is someone watching over them so long as they're good. My eyes are still on the slipper when I hear an unfamiliar voice behind us. Cinderella's glass slipper, huh? We both turn around to stare at a man standing a few feet from us. He's cloaked in darkness, but I can still make out his grin. Varg! It's fucking Fritz. Cinderella's glass. Hello, princess. To protect. The man starts walking toward us slowly. Waltz moves to stand in front of me. Princess, stay close to me. Good evening, Princess Spacey. And a good evening to you too, Peter Pan. The man drops into an elegant bow. Allow me to introduce myself. My name is Varg. Oh, Varg Fritz. I gotta be honest, I know Varg's a bad guy, but I kind of missed him. Because there's something a little sassy and fun about him. You know what I mean? Like, in this ride, he's gonna suck. But, like, in Fritz's ride, he was kind of nice. He's like, I'm in love with you. And you're like, you're so pretty, you little nasty asshole. I love you. Why? Like, I have a soft spot for Varg. I'm not kidding. Like, what do you want, Varg? How do you know who we are? I'd love to stay and chat, but I have more important things to do. The princess is coming with me. Varg takes one long stride toward us. He taps the cane he's holding onto the ground. A surge of light emanates from the cane, then flares out toward us. Princess, go back to the Marchen. Hurry! Waltz darts towards Varg before I can stop him. Varg raises his cane and twists it in one sharp movement. The light abruptly changes direction and slams into Waltz's side, throwing him some distance away. Waltz! Before I can step away, Varg has lifted me into his arms. He grins at me almost wolfishly, before darting away from Waltz. No! Princess! Let me go! No can do, princess. I let you go and things will get messy. What do you want from me? Are you a... I can't even say the word. My blood runs cold as I consider the situation. Are you a witch? That I am not. And you expect me to believe you? You just used magic back there. I guess I did. Let me go. I squirm in his arms, attempting to kick and push him away from me. Varg abruptly stops with a grunt to let me down. This is my chance. I start to bolt away from him, but he quickly grabs my wrist and pulls me back. Not so fast. Get your hands off of me. I'm not here to hurt you, princess. After what you did to Waltz? He leans in toward me until he can look me in the eyes. Well, he was in the way. Besides, it's not like I killed him. Varg begins walking again, this time pulling me with him. I try to break away from his iron grip, but fail. Where are you taking me? Back to where you truly belong. If there's one thing I've learned from fairy tales, it's that a princess belongs in a palace. I'm unable to stop the gasp that leaves my lips. He stops and turns to me. You've been away from home far too long, princess. Don't you want to go back? I I do want to go home, but I'm not welcome there anymore. At least not while I'm still cursed. Release her! Varg releases me just in time to block a sword strike that comes out of the darkness of the trees. Karma? Release her! Unhand her! You cad. Tch, how annoying. I could say the same thing about you. I back away as the two trade blows. Varg uses his cane to defend himself against the man that just emerged from the trees. Like, we don't know that's Karma? We still don't know that's Karma. Okay. That man, he's the one who was with Waltz. The man with the sword that helped save me from bandits all those months ago. There's something graceful in the way the man moves as he swings his sword at Varg. He almost looks like he's dancing. The stranger continues swiping the sword, eventually gaining enough leverage to force Varg back. He moves so quickly that it takes all of Varg's reflexes simply to block his slashes. They're so fast. Varg takes a few steps back and keeps a safe distance from the stranger. Impressive. The man gives Varg a lopsided smile as he points his sword at him. The two of them temporarily frozen as they each wait for the other to move first. You're not too bad yourself. Wait, is that... Now that he's stopped and I have a better look at him, I can see that the stranger's features are uncannily similar to Karma's. Karma? But is it really him? Princess, are you okay? I turn my head to see Waltz and Delora rushing toward me. How did you find me? Delora used her magic to track you down. Thankfully, no other witches beat us here. Waltz halts in front of me while Delora advances toward the two men. So what do we have here? Delora, right? Can't say that it's a pleasure to meet you. I have to compliment you all. You did an impressive job hiding the princess from us. It took a while to finally track her down. Finding your so-called tavern was difficult, you know, but I got lucky. How does he know about the tavern? No sooner are the words out of Varg's mouth that a swordsman is suddenly upon him again, poised to attack. Varg blocks his sword a second too late and is forced to back away, clutching his now bloody arm. You talk too much. Sorry, I shouldn't have forgotten my manners in front of royalty. Varg's gaze turns to Delora, a smirk somehow still on his face despite his injury. You have quite an interesting bunch with you, witch. How about joining us instead? We could always use more witches like yourself. Thanks, but no thanks. Too bad. Varg turns to look at me. He holds out a hand and gestures me toward him. Come with me, princess. You know you don't belong here. I clench my hands into fists as I shake my head. Your mother won't be very happy with your decision, princess, especially after all she's done to make sure you'll be a suitable heir. Mother? What are you talking about? But Varg ignores me as he raises his cane. Sorry to leave the party so quickly, but I'll be back soon enough for you, princess. Next time, whether you like it or not, you'll be coming with me. I'm not done with you! Delora throws her hands out, beginning to gather light in her palms, but Varg has already brought his cane down on the ground. Thick smoke envelops the area, making my eyes water. When the smoke clears, Varg is gone. Delora huffs in annoyance as she lowers her arm back down to her sides. To think those witches are using a human to do their dirty work. Was that... Oh, what was that cane he was carrying? I look up at the stranger who sheathed his sword and is walking towards where Waltz, Delora, and I are standing. It's an enchanted item. The cane has been infused with a spell that allows Varg to use magic. Limited magic, but powerful enough to make him dangerous. Well, it's far easier for a human to explore the kingdom without anyone getting suspicious. The stranger stands close enough for me to get a proper look at his face. I can no longer deny the resemblance I saw earlier. Karma? Is that really you? You have good eyes, darling. So this is what Karma looks like as a man. Why does he need to disguise himself as a woman? I open my mouth to ask the question when I'm interrupted by Waltz's hand on my shoulder. Are you hurt anywhere? I turn to Waltz and freeze when I notice the dried blood on his forehead. You're bleeding! I'll be fine. I step back and realize that Waltz is standing oddly, favoring one leg to the other. Varg must have badly hurt him. You shouldn't have come here. I had to. It's my fault Varg got to you in the first place. Waltz forces a smile, but I can see the sadness in his eyes. I couldn't protect you at all. I'm so sorry. Why do you keep worrying about me? I'm not even hurt. What if something happens to you? Walt smiles. He tries with great effort to mask his pain. I'm happy that you're worried about me, Princess. It doesn't matter what happens to me, so long as you aren't hurt. How can you say that? Ugh. Waltz's expression suddenly twists as he doubles over, his eyes glazed in pain. Waltz! Delora catches one of Waltz's arms, supporting him as she turns to address both Karma and I. We should return to the Marchen. Rumple needs to see to Waltz's injuries. Rumple? I'll explain everything once we're back. Delora calls for Rumple as soon as we arrive at the Marchen. When Rumple enters the reception area, he's clearly distraught by Waltz's injuries. What happened? Heal first, explain later. I expect Rumple to object. I'm surprised when he does nothing more than nod. Carefully, Rumple leads Waltz back to his room so he can be treated. Delora looks in the direction Rumple and Waltz have gone with a thoughtful look on her face. We're lucky that we have Rumple here with us. Hanise is good with herbs and small wounds, but Rumple has experience with more serious injuries. Experience? What are you talking about? Remember his curse? Rumple's is not the only one who doesn't remember who he is. None of the townsfolk remember his name either. But what about those with the curse? Shouldn't they at least still be able to remember his name? Rumple is an exception to the rule. As he is with many things. In his case, not a single person can remember his name. Funny thing is, they can still recognize him. He ran into someone who called him a doctor today. Even just hearing it brought a memory back. He's got one of those chapters in his journal back now. He is quite the proficient doctor. He collects his journal pages by retrieving memories from others that still remember him? What a strange curse. My eyes wander around the reception area and I notice that someone's missing. Where's Karma? Don't worry about him. He's probably changing now. I don't understand why Karma is so secretive about his reasons for wearing a disguise. I'm about to ask Delora if she knows any of the specifics of Karma's curse when the door to the reception area is thrown open. Princess! I'm surprised when Anise suddenly throws her arms around me. She pulls me into a tight hug. I was so worried about you. Thank goodness you're safe. She pulls away and begins to wipe at tears that have sprung to her eyes. Why are you crying? Because I was worried about you, silly. She was really so worried she'd cry? Why? I'm intensely aware of the awkwardness of the situation. Thank you for worrying about me. I had thought the words might do something to ease her worries, but her sobbing only grows louder. Anise? I'll get you something warm to drink. I stare off after Anise before I turn to look at Delora worriedly. Did I say the wrong thing? Quite the opposite, actually. You made her very happy. I did? But she was crying. They're called tears of joy, Princess. I'd be overwhelmed, too, if you were suddenly nice to me. Miracles tend to bring people to tears. I just said thank you. And that was kindness in and of itself. No wonder she's so happy. I was being kind? And congratulations, Princess. I see that you've managed to complete your very first good deed. My hand moves instinctively to my pendant. I clutch at the new piece that hangs there. I knew you could do it. Dolores smiles warmly. For some reason, it makes me feel strangely proud. Parfait walks into the room, startling us both. It's been 2 weeks since I last saw her. Her face is ashen. Parfait, you know that continuously using your magic takes a toll on your body. I have no choice. The witches... Her voice trails off as her eyes meet Dolores. Parfait and Delora look at each other solemnly. The tension in the room mounts as they continue to stare at each other without uttering a word. Eventually, Parfait's eyes wander to me. Keeping her in the dark won't make this situation any better, Delora. Parfait moves toward me, but her knees buckle. Before I can react, Delora is already at her side, supporting her. Parfait, you need to rest. I'll take care of this.
No, she needs to hear this from both of us.
What is going on?
We wanted to tell you about this later, but we can no longer afford to wait.
Delore helps Parfait to a chair. I tentatively take a seat opposite the two of them.
We're going to tell you the whole truth of this situation.
The whole truth. Delore sighs before she eventually speaks. Do you know why I cursed you, Princess? Some twisted sense of mischief? That's not the whole reason. We needed you to change your ways, Princess, to change how you see the world. If we didn't do something, you were going to end up as merciless and cold-hearted as your mother. What are you talking about? My eyes go to Parfait, but she doesn't meet my gaze.
Hildeer, your mother was not always so cruel.
Parfait's eyes look wet, as if she's about to cry. Why are you speaking as if you knew her?
She was my friend. Long before she was the queen, Hildeer was like a sister to me. But she changed when the witch hunt started.
What does the witch hunt have to do with Mother? Parfait doesn't meet my eyes, but Delora is looking right at me. Your mother is a witch, Spacey. The most powerful of the witches, in fact. Hildeer was the Tenebrarum bearer. My heart drops into the pit of my stomach. No, that's impossible. I've never saw her use magic. She can't be a witch. Well, that's what she wanted you to believe. You can't keep something like that a secret. If you try hard enough, you can keep anything a secret. Even from your own family. But how? Delora pauses for a long moment before she speaks. She erased your memories, Spacey. The air leaves my lungs as I struggle to remain calm. Walt said that Mother ordered my memories to be erased, but are they saying that it was Mother herself who erased my memories? Jagged pieces of memory and thought begin to snap together in my mind. She needed you obedient and compliant. Whenever you acted out, she took that memory of disobedience from you. And it didn't take long at all to mold you into her perfect and unquestioning little doll. I grip my dress without realizing. My hands are shaking. Then I did know Waltz. Mother really did erase my memories of him. How much of my childhood did I lose? That was just the weirdest noise. Like they must have been flushing the toilet in the neighboring apartment. I just went squeak, and I'm like, what the fuck?
Hildeer cherished humans before. She was kind and selfless. She was devoted to maintaining the balance between the Lucius and the Tenebrarum. But Hans...
Delora moves to place a gentle hand on Parfait's shoulder. It's not your fault.
I trusted him too much. He swore that they would only be stories, small fantasies to share with his children. Hildeer wanted to turn him away, but I disagreed. I had allowed Hans to weave his tales about witches and fairies.
Fairy tales. Delora nods. Hans's fairy tales became hugely popular, and in practically every single one of his stories it was the witch who was bad and had a fairy who was good. It's true because witches give you poisoned apples, although, wait, we got one before and it wasn't poisoned. To add insult to injury, it was well known that Hans had been welcomed by the Lucius bearer, but not the Tenebrarum bearer. The humans took that information and their imaginations ran wild.
Hildeer and I went to Hans to beg him to tell the truth, but it was too late. No matter what Hans said, everyone believed that he was being threatened by the witches. I don't think he ever meant for things to get so out of hand either. When the king at the time, your grandfather, also voiced his negative opinions on witches, he only added fuel to the fire. It was as if he was giving humans permission to carry on with their witch genocide.
And we could do nothing to defend ourselves. We were bound by our oath to never hurt a living soul. That's really sad. They've been bound by their oath to never hurt a living soul, and then this guy tells stories about witches being evil and hurting people, and then people kill them, and they're like, but we can't fucking even defend ourselves. Like, this sucks. Like, shit, that sucks. The witch hunt lasted for years. Most of us were slaughtered. All witches are bound to the Tenebrarum bearer through the Tenebrarum itself. Hildeer felt the deaths like it was her own, felt each of the deaths like it was her own.
It drove her mad.
And she broke our oath. She killed the king. Your grandfather. My mother killed my grandfather? We say that she was the first witch to kill a human, but they never said who before. See, this is why you play it in this order. As Hildir's power kept growing, more and more good witches were corrupted through her influence on the Tenebrarum.
I tried to stop her, but she was already lost to reason.
Hildir wanted to take Angeal for the witches. She wanted to take revenge on the humans for what they had done to all of us. And since your father was next in line, Hildir forced Gennaro to marry her so she would have a legitimate claim to the throne. And she did it even though she knew he loved another woman. The very woman who sits on the throne today. Ophelia? Delora nods. The king has always loved Ophelia? Hildir created the fairy tale curse to punish the humans. She wanted to fuel the Tenebrarum with their hatred and anger. Parfait's voice becomes very soft.
The balance between dark and light was lost. While Hildir lived, Angeal was a place of grief.
I can feel an impending headache coming. But even if what you're saying is true, Mother is dead. She's been dead for 4 years.
She is. But for some reason. Oh, she is. But for some reason, the witches are becoming more active. Garland and Jurian's patrols have confirmed this.
Patrols? Is that why they disappear at night?
I had to cast a glamour on you so that other witches would be unable to recognize you as the princess. But it seems like they've already seen through your glamour.
They're looking for you, princess. The witches are looking for you. That's so ominous, Delora. Jesus. What? Why?
The Tenebrarum needs a bearer. A witch needs to take on that role and regulate the balance between the Lucius and the Tenebrarum.
For the past few years, it's been in a state of hibernation. We believe Hildir infused her life into the Tenebrarum to keep it stable. But now the Tenebrarum is beginning to wake again.
I believe that's why so many people are being cursed lately. The witches are preparing for their new bearer.
Delora turns to me with an expression I can't quite read. They only have to wait until you turn 18. The air in the room seems to disappear all at once.
Princess, on your 18th birthday, your curse will break regardless of whether you complete your 3 good deeds. And you'll become the Tenebrarum bearer. You'll inherit that title and the power from your mother.
Impossible. My heart is racing and I feel faint. Even if Mother was a witch, I can't use magic at all. All halflings like you inherit their magic at 18. No, I'm human.
Princess.
Delora's expression is grim as she speaks. I hope this time we don't flip out and be like, fuck you guys, and run away. I hope we're like, I need some time, guys. Because we're usually always like angry about this, and then we find out they're right. But I really hope because like we're in Waltz's route that maybe we'll be a little bit better about it, accepting it. Even though like I mean it's enough to drive you crazy, but I hope she's not like, fuck you guys. She's like, I need some time. She doesn't keep trying to defend her mother, you know. We've been watching over you for a long time, Spacey. We know what sort of influence your mother had on you. The curse was a test. We needed to know that you wouldn't return Angeal to what it was when your mother was queen.
We can't allow another great war to tear Angeal apart. Delora and I believe that there's still goodness left in you. You just needed a wake-up call. Unless the curse and the 3 good deeds. We wanted you to see what you hadn't in years, to be exposed to the true reality of things.
And above all, we needed to see that you were capable of 3 good deeds. I attempt to grasp the fleeing thoughts in my mind, but to no avail. I feel numb. That's it. No more secrets. Parfait's voice is gentle when she speaks to me.
The future of this kingdom is in your hands.
Will you follow your mother's footsteps, or will you achieve the same balance that we had before? No matter how much I try, I'm unable to sleep after my talk with Delora and Parfait. Mother was a wicked witch, and I'm the next bearer of the Tenebrarum. It all makes sense now. So many people hated me because they thought I would be just like Mother. I feel the weight of that truth crash down on me, and it's suffocating. See, she handles it better. She's not like, fuck you guys! She's like, oh, shit. You know? It's Waltz's influence. Oh, he's the best influence on us. She handled this so much better than she has before. What am I supposed to do now? I turn to my side and bring my knees to my chest. How do I know what the truth is anymore? Suddenly an idea occurs to me. There's one other person who might know the truth. Waltz. I wonder how he's doing. I slip out of my room and make my way toward Waltz's. Waltz is sound asleep when I push the door to his room open. He looks so small on the bed. I pause to look at the hefty amount of herbs lying on the table. Those herbs. I remember Anise once told me that they help with pain. Rumple and Anise have given Waltz a lot of them. Thoughts about the truth of my mother retreat to the back of my mind as I remember the encounter with Varg. Waltz would never have gotten hurt if it wasn't for me. My eyes begin to sting. Cry. That's what we're supposed to do. For the first time in years, I let my tears flow freely. I don't even know why I'm crying, and I find myself talking aloud. You said that crying doesn't make a person weak, but it certainly makes me feel that way. You're not weak, princess. Oh, look at him all bandaged up. That's so adorable. Waltz? When did he wake up? You're the strongest person I know. Waltz's voice is soft and his words are slurred. He's clearly still under the influence of the medication he's been given, but he still continues to speak. Despite everything you've gone through, you're still standing on your own 2 feet. You cannot lie anymore. I've only been pretending to be a strong person. But I can't do this anymore, knowing that all this time I've been living a life full of lies. I'm questioning even my mother's affections now. Another dangerously gloomy thought hangs at the brink of my mind. If Mother didn't care about me, that means no one did at all. I do. I care about you, Spacey. Waltz's voice begins to grow weak as his eyes flutter closed. You're tired, Waltz. You should sleep. Spacey. His voice is slurred and slow, but hearing him say my name without the title somehow feels nostalgic. Please don't cry, little star. Waltz closes his eyes, finally surrendering to sleep. I take a deep breath and leave his room, closing the door quietly behind me. Okay, I'm gonna wrap. Okay, no, we'll do this little thing before we wrap this part up. We'll do this, because this is about the two of them. Again! Okay. Abra, cadabra.
Teach me how to do it too!
A magician never reveals his secret, little star.
You always say that. Please! 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 Just this one. Please, Waltz.
On your birthday. I'll teach you how to do it on your birthday.
Promise?
Promise. That's so fucking cute. Anyway, I'm going to wrap this part up here. I will see you guys next time. Remember to give the video a big thumbs up and subscribe to see more.